Hello everyone, welcome back in for another video. So I'm going to be talking about event exclusive miniatures here. As you can see from this Warhammer community article, this is a pretty old thing, but I've been meaning to make this video for a little while here because I'm just like not happy with how this is being done. I'm going to go over that and explain my reasoning and everything, but I don't like event exclusive miniatures anymore because like back in the day when they had Games Day, there was models you could only get at Games Day, but Games Day traveled around, right? Like I was lucky enough that one would come to Toronto each year, so I didn't have to travel that far, but I knew people who would drive from all over Ontario to come down to the city for Games Day. It was a big deal and it was a lot of fun. But back in the day, it felt a lot more accessible to these events. And that was really more of, I think, a celebration of the hobby in general versus a lot of these events, which some of them are celebrations like the Horse Heresy event and stuff. But like those happen in England. Like I can't go to that. Right. And some of the other events, again, they're in the States, and again with travel now, where you see on the news all the time, it's a mess. Flights getting canceled. You can't, like, I just couldn't imagine traveling right now, not being able to afford to travel, but then on top of that, going and just having it be an absolute crapshoot. Like, I've got some family who are like extended family, I guess, traveling, and they've had flight canceled or boats canceled, and they're out all this money where there's no refund, and then they have to figure out another way to get to these places, or they're missing connecting flights. Like it's an absolute mess. But regardless, let's go over these event exclusive miniatures here. So this came out in February the 14th, right? And when I first saw this model, I like ignoring all the text. Let's just talk about the model. I was like, the company champion, yes. Okay. Now I love this model and I want to get one for my Death Watch, and I'm going to explain my reasoning here. So for my birthday and Christmas every year, when I got into Warhammer, my grandmother would basically just get me nerd stuff. She always just got me the nerdiest thing that I wanted. She was amazing. And it was funny because one year she got me the box that the company champion came in. It was like the HQ squad at the time for the old Marines. And I was playing Ultramarines. I painted up the whole squad Ultramarines. But I really thought the company champion model that I had painted was one of the best models I'd painted. She absolutely loved it. And it just meant a lot to me. It was part of the models that got thrown out. Again, I think I was 18, 19, and pretty much everything got tossed. But this was one of those models that got thrown out. So when I saw the new Primaris version, I was like, immediately in my head, I thought, okay, I'm going to get this model. I'm going to get some bits for Ultramarines. I was probably going to get some stuff online, some printed stuff where I've seen some really cool helmets and shoulder pads, and make a Death Watch company champion that's an Ultramarine, right? Cool, right? I thought that's cool. Let's do that. And even with the other model, where a lot of the times people just kind of want the one model, but I love the Cruel Boys. This is an awesome Cruel Boy model. I want this one as well. I know that there's some store models that are coming out as well. And I'm not sure if this is able to get through that as well, or if this strictly was that, but I know the company champion at least is strictly through the events. And that's the model that I'm focusing on today. So with this, I'm like, okay, well, I still really want this model for that reason, right? I want to recreate it as kind of like an homage to her, and just to have and to look at, because I only have, of the stuff that got tossed, I've got 2 models that she bought me of the like 100 models that she bought me. And it just sucks, right? And I've always thought back to that company champion being like, oh, I wish I had that old model. I display it in my case kind of thing. But this was a kind of a thing I could do for her, in my own weird nerdy Warhammer way. But when this model, obviously I was like, okay, well, I'll have to pick it up on eBay, right? I don't know anyone who's going to the event that could have purchased for me at the like $40-50 mark, where, that's fine. Okay, I'll pay that to convert it, to have it again. Okay, so let's go to eBay. All right, so here's the pricing. Okay, it's $120 plus, $13 shipping, right? So $130. We've got almost $300 for some of these. I guess that's 2 of them, so it's 150 each. Like this is almost 150. This is insanity. This is 200 and almost $300 for the one, right? like this is the costing basically. It's about $130, we'll say, for the company champion model, right? Sometimes you could get a little less here. We're going through the prices. It kind of fluctuates. Here's just, oh no, that's 120. But regardless, this is a lot. This is a lot of money for one model, right? And in terms of some of this commemorative series, for instance, when they released the Catachan model, that was a mess in the middle of COVID, where they sent each store like 3 of the model, and it wasn't sent to the Games Workshop stores. It was only sent to the individual retailers, and they're struggling with COVID. Some of them actually sold them to people for the $50 that they were supposed to, but some of them just put them straight on eBay for like $200-$300. And with any of these models, you know what? If this is an event exclusive miniature, let's do it, right? Okay, for this year, you can only get it at the events. Next year, you'll get a 1-day made to order, and that may still happen, right? I hope I'm proven wrong and that this actually just gets a made to order, or they release it briefly in stores so that everyone can get it. Because especially for me, and the reasoning I want this model, it just sucks, right? Like it's too much. I can't spend $130 on one model, and it's just sad, right? And I feel like the hobby, and especially me with the channel, everything else, like I love miniatures, right? Like I love modeling and painting and playing and every aspect of the hobby. And this is just kind of like the sour apple or something in the bunch, where it's just stuff like this where I'm like, why are you still doing this? Right? Again, release it at the event for 2022, and when 2023 hits January 31st, I don't know, make it a made to order, right? So that anyone who couldn't travel that year to events still has an opportunity to get a model that they might want. I'm hoping that this practice changes. I don't think it will. I think this is still like the driving force for going to events now is not a model, right? When it was Games Day and it was traveling all over the place and going from city to city and there was a model you could get, that was cool. This isn't that. There's one event in one place in the world and you have to travel to it, right? And mostly now they're just like tournaments, right? For the most part, where some of them are at Warhammer World, there's a release event and you can pick these up. But regardless, I'd like to get my hands on this model at some point. Maybe I'll figure something out, but it's just a practice that is so outdated, I feel, and that they can just scrap, right? And again, just switch it. Just have it be that you can get this model at the events for a year, and then you can order it, right? I will pay Games Workshop money for this model, right? Going through the scalping market is just wild. And for these models, that's all that's happening, right? People are going to the event, buying this model, and then selling it to cover their event ticket, right? Or their gas or something, which I appreciate, where there's also, I think there's a limit. I believe it was 2 or 3 per person. I'm not really sure how that worked, but I'm hopefully in the future it changes. And I think if enough people kind of say, that this is a shitty thing to do, like this isn't a positive thing that's happening, then hopefully Games Workshop will hear us and they'll change. Let me know in the comments what you think. Were you hoping to get these 2 models? Doesn't matter. I know some people are like, it is what it is. This is just, some models you have to pay a premium for from Games Workshop, and it's just, I don't know. It's unfortunate. If you're not already subbed to the channel, hit the sub button. Lots more content coming out. I'll see everyone soon.